Jujutsu Kaisen once again coming in hot and slapping us with that comedy gold and glorious animation and hilarious art design. This episode wasn't as crazy as the past couple of episodes for obvious reasons. There's no way we can continue that momentum forever, so it was about time we slowed it back down, take a look at the other characters, but not only just the ones that we've grown accustomed to, introducing two new ones with vastly different but equally horrifyingly powerful personas. This episode was mostly on the comedy gold side in my opinion, but don't get it mistaken, the action was there with Mappa once again flexing they know how to do amazing directing. If you can have a simple butting of heads between two students, and you can shatter an entire building as you're grabbing a guy's head and throwing it through a wall, I think you can kind of just tell that if the most basic of fights can look that good, and we already came off of such incredible fights over the past couple of weeks, where's the true fights gonna go and how great are they going to look? Because last week you would say that's what the show's capable of. But then you look at what this episode did with such a basic premise for a fight and you're like, that's amazing. Where's the big, bad, most badass fights actually gonna take us, both with creative directing but also how they're gonna just adapt it into such a beautiful eye candy galore. It's amazing to see what Jujutsu Kaisen has been capable of, and you can definitely tell that this is gonna be a show 10 years from now that is going to be recommended as a classic the same way shows such as Yu Yu Hakusho are recommended to anyone getting into anime at any point. This show is just capable of so much and it's so versatile where you don't have to have action for it to be engaging. There are so many moments throughout this episode that are just fun for the character banter alone. These two new characters that we get introduced to, the first of which I knew the best description would be if looks can kill. This girl you knew was a bad bitch. You knew she was going to be someone you love to hate, and that's exactly what she represents. She's someone who, with her words, can infuriate you beyond measure, but then she blows you a kiss and you can tell that she is very good at manipulating situations. And not only that, is she's not only the sister to one of the characters, she also is just insanely deadly. This is a girl who can just say things that makes your blood boil, such as just mocking our boy who they still firmly believe is dead. And just imagine if he actually was dead, how pissed off the viewers would be. We're only kind of slightly irritated by what she said because we know our boy is still alive and kicking and is going to kick some ass in due time. But if he actually was dead and we switch perspectives to like Gojo as being our main protagonist, that girl would need to die is the best way to put it. But I love how you have these characters who you don't look at as like this evil witch of the west design. She's a fairly normal, pretty character design, but she uses revolvers and she just says the most vile of actions. And then when you go up against someone like Nobra, who honestly didn't look too good for her at certain points, and then at other points it looked like she was given like a gorilla grip of death, and if it wasn't for the breaking of up, I don't know which one of them would have won. I mean, each one kind of assumes they won as they kind of part ways, but still, there was this banter and this dialogue that really just, it shook you and it made you unnerved to what they're capable of. And then you get this other character who's like, hey, I'm a big tough guy. I'm gonna rattle your bones. What's your preference in women? And I'm like, of course. If we have a talking panda that supposedly is just named Panda, it's no surprise someone who looks like this is an idol fan, and seemingly the idol that he's worshipping. To me, honestly looked like Nico Nico Ni from Love Live. It looked like the adult version of that, and this dude is far too indoctrinated in the world of idols if, you know, the thing that's most important to him is getting a handshake. You expect it with certain character designs, you don't expect it with a character design as muscular as that, but that's what makes it so funny. The whole idea of him being like, you know, I can tell someone's character based on their taste in women, you knew it was stupid, you knew it was ridiculous, but you knew it was hilarious and you wanted to see it through to the end. And our boy giving a pretty genuine answer, as long as they have a strong character, that's what he likes. But for a guy who is so fixated on getting handshakes from idols, you knew if he didn't give a shallow answer like big boobs or nice ass, there was going to be a fight, and luckily there was a fight, because the fight was awesome, to be honest. Had it not been broken up by Panda and the other, I'm curious what would have happened, because it felt like we were getting very close to our boy unleashing some true potential. You knew he was holding back. I mean, at first when you see him summon his curses, a bunch of like flying frogs, you laugh at it, you think that's goofy, but then again, this is a world where the most ridiculous of curse could be the most powerful thing ever. I'm fully convinced a character could summon a bunny rabbit, a very simple, nothing about it's different, and it could launch a nuclear bomb depending on how much curse energy is implied to it. It's insane to see what they're able to accomplish, and seriously, just a simple idea of butting heads and throwing a character through a goddamn building, there was some insane animation that didn't need to be here. They could have had the most boring of directing for this fight, and it still would have been entertaining enough that we wouldn't have come out of this episode saying this was a stupid episode. Yet this team continues to blow me away. It's not even just like it's so cleanly animated that you just see every little bit of detail. It's that they're not boring with the shot composition. They always angle shots different than the last. You get a lot of dynamic camera angles where you pull away and the focus is on the leg because the leg is being pushed into the ground with such force. They always twist and turn what you see from the last time. So when they do connect a punch or when they do something different or they're flipping or they're crushing and you're seeing blood, it always feels visually distinct and you can tell this is a passion project. And obviously the manga is probably a big factor on why the fights are so cool, but it's the way the team has adapted these fights into such a visual treat that you just can't look away. For an episode that really didn't have to do all that much, it was really a distressor. That's all it needed to be after coming off of last week. What you ended up doing was introducing two characters that not only personality-wise are very strong-willed and they do not back down, unless, well, one's going to see an idol and the other has no option but to turn away. Incredibly strong, one more so than the other it feels like, but still both are going to be devastating opponents. And then you get Gojo shaking down an old man saying, hey, your old ways of thinking are bullshit, they're not going to hold up anymore. The people who are being trained right now will break away from this stupid class grading, and my principal will be here in 2 hours because I gave him the wrong later. It's just like, the balls on these characters is ridiculous. You can tell Gojo, he's rocking like the iron balls of steel. Like this dude is just, he gives no shits and he knows how to piss characters off or give pictures to his fan base. And the fan base is kind of hilarious when you know the old man's very pissed off at this guy and you have to pretend like you're actually okay, you know, with him getting talked down to, and then you're really just the giant fangirl. This episode just had fun. It wasn't necessarily supposed to progress the plot in an insane way, but more establish a cast of characters, establish a narrative, so when we see these people again, you know the tension's going to be high, and yeah, it will have its fun. Yeah, it will goof off, but you also get to learn so much about some of these other characters, such as apparently this girl not actually able to do anything without cursed objects, similar to the knife that our boy got 2 episodes back, give or take. And if it wasn't for her glasses, she wouldn't be able to see cursed energy and things like that. There's a lot of establishing aspects about this episode without it ever feeling repetitive or dry or info dumpy. It was just a fun episode with insanely funny comedy and badass animation, and honestly, I loved every minute of this. It flew by just as fast as any of the other episodes, and while technically I wouldn't say it's anywhere close to being the best episode of the season, it's still an insanely great episode of Jujutsu Kaisen, and if this is what could be considered the floor of Jujutsu Kaisen, this show is going to be amazing all the way to the home stretch by the end of next season. Let me know your thoughts and feelings down below. What did you think, and what was your personal favorite moment? To be honest, my personal favorite moment is Panda. The dude he fakes being a panda. I don't speak human language, I'm Panda. That's all you need to know. Don't need to establish Panda as any more than just being a talking panda, and I'll love it for that. Let me know your favorites though down below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, share, support, and hit that subscribe button if you have been around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.